Hello. Looks like we're live. Let me bump this music down a little bit. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm trying out this new camera that I got for live streaming, so hopefully the quality's a lot better. And hopefully the audio picks up pretty nicely too. Yeah, but today we're gonna do some branding work in Illustrator. I have this idea. Well, some friends gave me this idea actually, called National Bark, where essentially it's a national park for your dogs. Basically like a doggy daycare. Imagine you go to like say Yosemite or like Big Sur and you want to go on a hike or something like that. But you know, maybe it's not a dog friendly hike. So normally you'd have to leave your dog at home or have somebody watch them. But in this case, you could check them in the national park, which is right outside the national park, and they could play around and kind of, you know, have somebody watch over them as you're going on your hike. So shout out to my friends John and Allie. They're the ones that gave me the lovely idea. And this is actually an idea that I want to use for a live stream later on in early January with Adobe. So we'll use this concept to actually design a mobile app then. But today we're just going to focus on actually kind of going into Illustrator and fleshing out these branding marks and maybe play with some typography and even see how it's applied to maybe like a t-shirt or something like that. I kind of want to get a good sense of how the mark works in different areas. So we've got Ersin from Turkey. Welcome to the stream, my friend. And we've also got Mohammed. What's going on? Thanks for joining in. All right, so let's get into Illustrator and see what we got here. So I have let's see, my document is about, I think it's 17 inches wide by 11 inches tall. That's just, for me, a good size to work in, kind of when you're developing concepts and you're putting together a lot of different marks, logo marks and things like that. And I actually have, let me go back to my other view real quick. Just some kind of like rough sketches. So these are very sloppy, but as you can see, like I want to play around with just like, where are we at here? Kind of like a little arch, a little doggy icon, and then maybe like a type treatment with the icon next to it. And then maybe some type by itself, you know, maybe bringing in some mountains and trees. I actually want to make one of the locations Big Sur, so maybe we could play around with that bridge, that Bigsby Bridge. And then some of those like kind of cool retro motel keychains that you see around. Maybe we can like mock up one of those. So yeah, just kind of like, this is like my chicken scratch, like rough sketches that kind of, you know, I think it's just a good way to kind of get your ideas on paper and then you can translate them into software, which is what we're going to do today. So let's see what we can do. And full disclosure, I have already designed these, but I'm just recreating these on stream so you guys can kind of see my process when I'm designing, just so you know. Taylor S. Yo, Cody, glad to join the stream. What's the concept for the project? I think I just mentioned it, but I can mention it again. We're going to design some logo, badges, and icons for a concept called National Bark. Which we'll then be developing a mobile app for next month. Oops, let's go to this one. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna start with, since I want to do that arch design logo, I'm just gonna start with a circle. Get rid of my fill, don't really need it. And I'm gonna go to my type on a path tool. Just click right on there. Let's just type National Bark. National Bark. And let's just size this up. I'm a big fan of just this type on a path tool because you could apply this to anything. Like it doesn't have to be a circle. I could just do something like this. Watch, I can grab my pen tool, make a little weird abstract shape here, grab my type on a path, click anywhere on the path. Hello, this is rad. And so it'll follow that path no matter what. So it's kind of a cool way to make some interesting, you know, text transform sort of, you know, concepts. I like using it for a lot of these circle designs. You could do it like in a triangle or like a diamond. But anyways, for this, we're gonna do this kind of arch. And I'm gonna bring this up. And if this starts to happen, you need to bring this little, see this little arrow? You just need to drag this down so you kind of extend it and give it a little bit more space. JTAM. Yes, drinking LaCroix pamplemousse flavor, one of my favorite. This is one of the best LaCroix flavors, in my opinion. I agree, JTAM. Thanks for joining in. We're just gonna kind of chill and go through this some branding work here. This is the chill hour here. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you let me know in the chat if my mic is picking up okay? All right, so you can kind of go through here and just kind of see what you like. I think I already know which one I want. It's called Stolzel. And this is an Adobe font, so you can find it on Adobe Fonts. And what I like to do when I'm creating these, okay, Francisco says, yep, all good, thank you. What I like to do when I'm creating these arches, see how it's kind of like uneven right here? I always like to make a, like, sort of a guide for myself, just so I know it's like more or less like pretty straight on. So I'm just gonna grab my line tool for this, my line segment tool, and then just create like a stroked, any color really that kind of pops for you. In this case, blue works. And then if you hold Option or Alt, and then your left or right arrows, you can kind of like current these out a little bit. It's getting pretty close. I like that. National Bark. I love that play on words. It's so funny. All right, thanks for letting me know, D. Wheeler and Mohammed, that the audio sounds good. I'm still kind of getting used to this whole stream thing, so you guys are kind of the guinea pigs in the audience here, kind of letting me know if this is working pretty well. All right, so we've got our arch. Whoopsie, didn't want to do that. There we go. I accidentally plopped my finished logo into the stream, so you guys got a little sneak peek of what it's gonna look like. All right, cool. So now what we need to do is, I wanna actually kind of create like a little dog that like lives within the, underneath the arch here. So for that, I'm gonna grab my rectangle tool. Let's create like the top left ear. So I'm gonna zoom in on this square right here. I'm gonna grab this top left point and see how you have this little kind of dot right here? There's a little like curve. We're just gonna bring this all the way so that it matches up with the other one. So that's gonna, I know it doesn't look like an ear yet, but it will. And I'm just building with basic shapes to kind of get the basic structure of my puppy head here. And see, I'm kind of like centered underneath the arch right now. It's kind of what we want. Where are you guys tuning in from? I would love to know. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so I think for this top part, this could be kind of like where where this dog's forehead is. We can also kind of bring this down a little bit like that. I'm gonna duplicate this with Alt and Shift and bring this down a little bit. It's kind of like the secondary ear, and I'm just gonna unite this so I can shrink it down. Sometimes you gotta kind of like step back a little bit and just kind of see if it reads well from far away. And I'm actually gonna merge these two with Unite, so that I can then put a stroke on this foreground element. Here, for now, I'm just gonna change the color of this a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. We're gonna add a white stroke on the outside. See, a line stroke to outside. I'm gonna bump that up to maybe 2 to 3, whatever suits you. Taylor S is from Hudson Valley, New York. Awesome. Glad you're in here with us. And then D Wheeler's tuned in from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Awesome. We got people all over the place. Richard Otley says, hey Cody. What's going on, Richard? Watching from Brooklyn. Okay, we got 2 people from New York. Awesome. Glad you guys could join. I got kind of bored. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go on a quick live stream and we can see what we can make, you know? So this is a little fun exercise for all of us here. All right, so that's like the secondary ear. I'm actually gonna get rid of like all my colors here, except for my white and my black. I'll actually add black. I like to have just like a clear set of colors that I'm only really working with when I'm doing something like this, because I don't want to, I don't know, I get distracted by all the other colors. And it's good to design in black and white for the most part, so you can kind of see if it works well in that format before you get it in, because color's a whole different beast, you know what I mean? It's just like, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself unless you kind of already know what you're working with. But let's see what we can do here with this this little dog. I'm just trying to build it with basic shapes. Might add another point here. We're kind of building like the nose, so it goes from like the eyebrow down to like the nose. And I'm gonna add another point. So you can add additional points when you click your pen tool and make sure that you have your path selected. So I'm gonna create another kind of little bottom part of the nose here. Richard Ethan, Philly checking in, nice. I have been to Philly. When I was like in 5th grade, I was in Philly one time. I liked it a lot actually. So now it's kind of, this dog's kind of look like a little bit like a wolf almost, right? He's got that really sharp, those sharp features. And this is where you kind of just have to play around. It's good to look at like reference images. So like, I think when I first designed this, I was dropping in images of dogs that I liked and was kind of building based on that. But see, what's cool is like any of these points, as long as your shape is contained, you can round the corners. So I'm just gonna kind of go in here and just round this a little bit. And same with this one. Give it a nice little subtle roundness to it. Even like below like the neck, like see how like my neck kind of like does this? I think dogs do like a similar thing. So I'm gonna kind of round that a little bit. Mohammed, I'm from Palestine, Middle East. Work online with a company in San Francisco. Nice. That's what's cool about nowadays, especially everybody's working from home. You can work for almost any company now. Richard says, this is good that you're doing a live stream on logo design. I'm also working on designing a logo through Adobe Illustrator for client. That's awesome, Richard. Yeah, honestly, Illustrator is the go-to software for logo design and branding, in my opinion. It's vector-based. It's got all the right tools in it, and I don't know. It's just it's fun to work in. There's like so many like possibilities with it. All right, so let's come together a little bit. I'm gonna straighten out my vector a little bit here. And see how this brow, like right here, it's a little bit too of a harsh kind of angle. I'm not in love with that, so I might round that a little bit too. Yeah. Okay. This is looking cool. Maybe we can angle up this part. Might just play with these points a little bit. I'm gonna lock my text so that I don't accidentally select it. Object lock selection. That way I'll never accidentally select that text right there. Because I want to move this over a little bit to get like a true representation of how it's actually gonna live. Frank Oliveras says, "Baja un poquito la música, por favor." It's a little too loud. Okay. See, I understood that. I'm half Mexican, so there's certain things I can pick up on. Is that better? Sounds by Jordan says, "Love the beats." Thanks. It's actually a awesome YouTube content creator named I don't know his name exactly, but his account is under Ziki Beats. He provides a lot of like free music, so you have to check him out. All right. So I think like I want to add like a bottom piece to like the neck so that we can see like with negative space that there is like a collar. So people, it's an easier read that it's a dog. Because right now it kind of does look like a little bit like a wolf or like a fox, which is not a bad thing because some dogs look like that. But I think to help kind of tell that like silhouette a little bit more, to help give a little bit more form, we can add this bottom piece. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to the back of the ear here so it's aligned. And I'm going to bring my anchor point down here. We still have our stroke on, but I can take that off in a second here. If you hold shift when you're creating a point, see how it kind of flattens it? It makes it like a perfectly straight line. That's going to be super helpful for you. And let's get rid of this stroke. We don't want this stroke. My dog's actually running around here somewhere. That's another reason why I wanted to do something regarding dogs, is because I have a dog that I got at the beginning of the year. He's a Shiba Inu named Dakota, and he's awesome. Now see, even though this is aligned, it still visually doesn't look right to me. It looks like it's like underneath. I might actually kind of come back a little bit. And I might even add another point on this. So to add another point, you have to make sure that you have your path selected. Because I might want to like round this piece right here. Bring it in a little bit more. See, I'm trying to play off the other angle of that top piece. So it feels like it's like a fluid, sort of like, almost like an S shape. And you can kind of fine tune with your anchor points here. Oops. Yeah, I haven't done like I haven't streamed anything, or I haven't made any videos on Illustrator in a while now. So this is my resurgence back into the Illustrator world. I mean, I use it all the time. I just don't make content around it as much. I do a lot of Adobe XD tutorials. Is anybody on like holiday break right now? Or are you guys just kind of getting off work right now? So that's good for now. I can fine tune this a little bit later, but you get the gist of the main shape. And see how this space right here, this negative space, is more or less the same spacing here. That's something that you want to be consistent with when you're making logos or just any kind of vector work. If you're going with a certain style, you want it to be cohesive. You want it to feel like everything is kind of in that same family. So I would say this is probably a little thicker than this one. We can fine tune it later, but that's something to keep an eye out for. And I'm just gonna group all this. Right click, group. And so now that I have, that's like my live version of the mark, I'm gonna duplicate this. Let me unlock real quick. This is one of those like Aaron Draplin tips, is to like always keep everything you make and then duplicate, make more, and then iterate on top of that, because you might find something in the first iteration or the second or the third that you didn't necessarily have in the 7th or 8th iteration. So being able to revert back to it and keeping everything live is a good idea. So that's something I learned through the old Draplin. So kudos to him. Neil Hooper, I'm still hustling, but I'm going to be off starting Wednesday. Nice. That's only a couple days from now, so that's awesome. Kelso says, how much years of experience do you have, Mr. Cody? As a designer, professionally, probably about 7 or 8 years. But I've been designing and creating stuff since I was a kid, like doodling and sketchbooks and making cartoons. But I've been probably a UI designer for like 5 years. But I've been like doing branding work since before that. So I still think I'm learning every day though, so don't hold me to that. Anyway, so this is going to be our live one. Let's just title that live. Live vector. I can't spell right now, geez. That way, if you come into this file later and like you need to like make an edit to like this stroke or something, you can do that. But so for this one, I'm going to outline it. Well, I'm going to divide it first. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this real quick. Neil says, love the clean, flat look and design. Thank you, man. Taylor says, bro, got my own design business and the manager doesn't give me time off. Well, that's a bummer. You need time off, dude. Oh, you know what? I need to expand this. That's why. I still have the stroke applied to this. So let's go to our object, hit expand appearance. What that's going to do is going to make the stroke like not a stroke anymore. It's going to make it more just like a path. So once you have that done, you can select both these, then you can divide. And it's basically doing like a cookie cutter thing. So it's chopping off the bottom piece of the ear and creating like a path there. So what we're going to do is just delete all this excess stroke. And now these are kind of two independent shapes of each other, see? So now we have 3 pieces here. And we can group these now. Coda. All right, cool. So now that it doesn't have a stroke anymore, this will be scalable 100%. As big or small we want to make it, and it doesn't have that stroke. Whereas like this one, it still has that stroke. So see how the stroke gets smaller or bigger as I shrink it, because it's a live stroke. So it's keeping that like 2 or 3 pixel point size on that stroke. So you wouldn't want to send that to print because the printer might size that up and all your graphics will get messed up. So you want to make sure that you have it kind of clean and fresh and crisp and everything is outlined and divided and basically a perfect silhouette. So if I put anything behind this, the reason why we're doing this is because I want to start playing with color actually a little bit. So let's pick like a more like kind of burnt orangey red. I'm all about these like burnt orangey red colors. Whoops. Let's come back down here. See, this is all the stuff you don't see when I'm actually designing and I make a video. Lots of mess ups. So I'm just sending it to back. I'm holding command and then left bracket, and you can like send everything to the back. So now you know for sure that that stroke is gone. And you can see what happens. See, that's what it looks like when you're not, when you don't get rid of the strokes. Okay, so now I want to add like a subtitle, because this is like an adventure dog park. So we're gonna do National Park, Adventure Dog Park. Let's go ahead and lock this so we don't move it around. Richard Otley says, what's your approach / process to creating a logo before designing? Do you research other brand logos to get inspiration? And what types of questions do you ask a client before designing a logo? It's a great question. Well, typically I'll talk to the client first, so that I know what it is they're looking for, or what the type of project is, or company or brand. And then I will go out and look at existing logo marks or brands that are doing it well. Ideally, you want to see, you know, different brands that are in the same space. So if it's like, say, if it's a dog brand, I'd like to go on Instagram or Pinterest or Behance and just search like dog logo or doggy daycare or anything really related to like the pet industry. And I would just kind of see how different people or different brands are actually, you know, visually representing their brand. It's also helpful to look at like neighboring industry. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be a puppy or dog related brand. Because if you start to only look in the same like industry, you're gonna get a lot of like cookie cutter brands that are kind of doing the same thing. So I think it's important to look at like maybe I don't know, like even some like human brands, right? Like some stuff that like maybe apparel for humans, because a lot of the dog brands kind of like take influence from like lifestyle brands of human brands. So maybe like a men's clothing company or like a women's lifestyle brand, and just kind of see how they treat their visual representations of like typography, marks, logos, like all that sort of thing. Even how their social media lays out. You know, you can get some information based on like, you know, how they're laying out a social template or something like that. Like maybe this mark is in the lower bottom left corner and there's like some nice shapes behind it. So you can kind of find inspiration from, you know, brands that are similar, but also brands that are different, if that makes sense. Yeah, and so once I have some inspiration kind of collected, I'll then go in and make a mood board to kind of help support the visual direction that I'm thinking about exploring. So typically 2 to 3 mood boards will give you a good start to then have a conversation with your client to see if they're on board with, you know, the creative direction that you're proposing. So that's a big step that I typically will try to pitch to a client if I'm gonna work with them. All right, cool. So Adventure Dog Park is what we're gonna call this. Let's bring our size down a little bit. And again, this is an Adobe font called Stolzel. Stolzel? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And for this, let's see. We're gonna go all caps, Adventure Dog Park. That is not all caps, but we can make it all caps. So if we go to, let's see here, character, click this all caps right here. And then let's go to our, right here, align center. And let's just drag our text box to the edges. I think I'm gonna, that's actually kind of nice. I don't know. Kind of want to like kern this out a little bit. And we're gonna drop this to another line. Kelsey says, yes, you're a boss. I'm not a boss. Thank you though. You're 23 years old, Portuguese marketer who loves to design. I love your thing, bro. Thanks for your answer. Yeah, thanks for watching, and that's awesome that you're getting started in design at 23. You're gonna do some awesome stuff, I'm sure. J-Tem says, is Cody your dog? Yeah, Coda's my dog. He's sleeping over there. He's a Shiba Inu. You can probably see some pictures of him on my Instagram. Cool, so that looks kind of nice. Let me zoom out real quick just to see. I'm gonna unlock this. Let's get rid of this guide mark because we already know it's perfectly aligned for the most part. And you see how there's just kind of like a space right here on both sides? I want to add maybe like another little design element, like little X's. I know like in outdoor brands, there's a brand called, shoot, what is it called? They sell like outdoor goods and like kind of camping supplies, but they use like a red X as like their main logo. I think it just looks kind of cool. So let's just add some of that. And I kind of want it to be roughly the same weight as like this N, like this like leg of this N. Just so it shares, we were talking about earlier how we want to share the same like stroke weights and things like that. Something you got to keep in mind. So we'll make that one. We'll copy it, Command V, and then edit, paste in place, and then just rotate it. I'm gonna select both of these and just unite them. So they're basically combined into one shape now. And let's rotate this. And then if I hold Alt and Shift, I can just drag this one over here. I'm not feeling this red. I want it to be a little bit more orangey. Orangey, is that a word? Yeah, it's a little better. Fabiola says, just got here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream, Fabiola. Are you going to save this later? Yeah, this video should be up on my YouTube channel afterwards, just like my other live stream. So don't feel obligated to watch right now, guys. I know people have stuff going on, so I'll definitely keep this up. All right, so that's a cool, like, you know, a mark that you can see like on a t-shirt or something. You know, it's very simple, minimal. I got to crack open another LaCroix. Give me one sec. Cheers to all you out there. Appreciate you watching. Okay, so this is like our little minimal logo mark. We should make even an even more minimal version where it's like, say, if it was like existing in a mobile app, you would want just something a little bit smaller, because essentially, like when you shrink things down, if I shrink this down, let's just duplicate this. It still looks pretty good at that size, but, oh wait, you can't see it on my screen, right? Bring it over here. It still looks pretty good at that size, but you start to lose this like adventure dog park stuff. So we need to think about how we can make it just a more minimal version of itself. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab my text again. I'm gonna abbreviate for this. NATL. I think that's like an abbreviation of national. I'll bring this up a little bit. And then let's take our little doggy, just bring it over here. I might even go to the bold for this one. This could be like, if you have it in a header, say like on a print layout or something, and you didn't want to use the full kind of badge logo, you wanted just kind of a smaller, more isolated, cleaner look, you could go with something like this where it's just national. Oh, well, we have to have bark. Let's put bark underneath it. And then let's just left justify, bring this up a little bit. There, even that kind of works because we sized up the dog to kind of match the height of both of those. Let's just outline this text so we have it as a live shape, because right now it's live text. If you were to send this to the printer right now and they didn't have this font, they would not, it would show as an error in Illustrator. So let's go ahead and outline this. Oh wait, but we gotta be smart. Let's keep a live version here. And then let's go ahead and duplicate. And then go to Object, Expand, Fill and Stroke. So now it's a real vector. It's a real vector. It's like a Pinocchio. I'm a real boy. Sorry, you're gonna get a lot of my silly dad jokes here. We could even get like a little, we could add like a little color here. Maybe grab this eyedropper and then grab the same color. Just to add a little something, you know? I could see that like on a business card. KDZ Lokester says, hello. I just wanted to say I really appreciate your videos. I'm a self-learned multimedia designer. That's awesome. Your videos have been helping me immensely. Awesome. I'm glad they're helping. That's what I'm here for. Hopefully I can at least help a little bit, you know? But see, this is looking cool. Like you can already see it's like, if we zoom out, oops. It's pretty legible at that size. Like obviously it's a little bit hard to see, but this is where you really need to start testing the feasibility of your logos and whether or not they work in this kind of early conceptual phase. Oh, there goes Coda. Okay, cool. So let's move this around a little bit. Let's organize our artboard a little bit better. All right, now I want to make, oops, we lost this little X over here. All right, so I want to make an even bigger badge that we can use for like a t-shirt, like the back of the t-shirt. So imagine like this one's like front, kind of little like pocket logo, and then we want like a bigger version on the back. Let's try to make that. Boav Z says, hey, love the logo. Oh, thanks, appreciate it. You know what, while we're here, let's add a different color just to see how it looks on another color. I'm thinking kind of like a forest green. Something down in this area, in this realm. I might make this a little bit more red. And I'm probably getting a little too ahead of myself with adding so much color right now. I should be just making the form factors, but I don't want to. I want to get to more stuff on this stream than less. So let's bring this over. I'm gonna outline all this, expand. There, that one's a true vector because it's all outlined. This one still has some live text, but that's okay. I'll leave that one live. And what I really want to test here is it looks good dark against sort of this lighter burnt orange color, but I want to test this and see if it works on a darker background. So in order to do that, I'm going to make this vector piece right here, I'm going to make it light. So we could sample this white and see how it looks. It still reads pretty good because we made sure that there's, you know, the one thing I will say is I could probably increase the spacing of these like gutters or these like areas right here, just so that at smaller sizes it still reads. You know? So see, even that starts to feel a little bit better when you go to like a white color. That's why this is helpful when you're playing around with different values, dark and light. Richard says, no prob, dad jokes are welcome. Well, I'm glad you said that because there's gonna be a lot more where that came from. I can't read that name, but He says, you look talented. Why are there only 28 viewers? I don't know. 28 is a lot to me, my friend. So I'm just glad that anybody, if there was just one viewer in here, that would make me happy, because I don't get to design by myself, you know, we get to hang out together. So I appreciate all of you in here. Thank you so much. We're just hanging out on a, what is it, a Monday? Monday night? It might be Monday morning for some of you guys. Oh, Frank, I'm not actually drinking a beer. I'm drinking a LaCroix. This is a, like seltzer water. Might have a beer later, though. Okay, so we need to make that bigger version that would go on the back of a shirt, right? So I'm going to duplicate my artboard. Let me just show you I did that real quick. If you go to Document Setup up here, Edit Artboards, it gives me the ability to select an artboard or make a new one. I'm just going to go ahead and hold Alt and Shift and just drag this over here. Oops. There we go. And I don't need all these. I really just want the dog part. All right, cool. So this is where we're gonna make. Here, let me switch back to my other. This is where we're gonna make this. Right here, sort of like, you know, the Bixby Bridge, some water underneath it, a little dog in the middle, and then we have like a little arch on the top, and then I want to translate that to a, sorry, I want to translate that to like a key, like a retro vintage key, and then a t-shirt. So let's see if we can do that. So let's just pull up an image of the Bixby Bridge that's in Big Sur. We're gonna pretend like this is a national park location. Maybe you can go to Big Sur and there's a hike that you can't bring your dog on, so you check them into the national park, and it's at Big Sur. So let's pull up a reference photo. Copy. And let's paste this in. So that's pretty much the angle that we want for this. We want it to look like a nice arch that kind of frames our doggo here. So I'm just gonna keep this right here. That's a nice little reference point. It's Tuesday morning over there, Boavz. Nice. You're time traveling. All right, so for this, I'm gonna make an ellipse. I'm gonna kind of find the center of my doggo. Hold Alt and Shift so it kind of scales up right from that origin point. Get rid of the fill. Let's go to like a black stroke. And remember, I cleared all my colors out of here just so that I'm not worried about it, you know? Coda. Want to say hi? Say hi, bud. There's Coates. He's like, why are you picking me up right now? Hey, bud. Thanks. He gave me kisses. Okay. So, I'm going to delete the bottom portion of this circle. I only want the top. And then let's thicken this up a little bit, maybe like a 7 or 8 point. So this is basically the bottom of the bridge. That's this part right here. Yeah, we're just gonna make this with basic shapes. I'm a big fan of basic shapes. So I'm just gonna grab this line tool and go from here to here. And see how I don't really have anything applied to it. There's no stroke or fill. You can grab your eyedropper tool and just select an existing object that has a stroke, and it'll apply that. So that's what we're gonna do. And the reason why I dragged it from here to here is because I wanted to ensure that I had the exact same length as the bottom of these two little feet of the bridge. But we're gonna bring it up about right here. And I'm gonna grab this side, just this point. If you go to your direct selection tool, we only wanna move this anchor point here. I'm gonna hold shift and my left arrow and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's basically going 50 pixels to the left. The same thing on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I want to kind of go over a little bit. Let's grab our line tool again, drag it up, and then let's do the same thing. Let's actually just duplicate this, Alt and Shift. See how it kind of snaps into place? That's the software kind of working for you, which is pretty sweet. And now we need to make those little kind of like cross pieces that go across the actual, like, what keeps the bridge sturdy, other than like this arch shape. KDZ Luxer says he's adorable, haha. Frank says nice dog. Thanks guys, he's a handsome one. So then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna Alt and drag and kind of find like a good spot. Maybe let's see, Command D. I'm gonna grab all these real quick and group them. Let's just drag them to make sure, yeah, there we go, we're intersecting. Those should be the right size spacing. There's probably a better like mathematical way to do that probably Aaron Draplin knows about, but I'm not as good as him, so. And I'm just gonna bring all these points up. There we go. And I think I want to make these just a little bit thicker, so if I select all of them, maybe like a 10 point for now. And then let's grab this text up here, bring it over here. And I'm going to increase the size of this holding Alt and Shift. Might shrink this all down a little bit. Biscuit says, I'll have to go shopping for Christmas Eve, watching from Philippines. Yeah, it's Tuesday morning in here. Oh, and just so you know, your doggo rocks. Elbow cough. Thanks. Yeah, it's the shopping time right now, isn't it? I wonder, are the stores pretty busy right now? Probably. It's like 4 days till Christmas. I do not want to be at the stores right now. This is too thick right here. Bring this down. All right, cool. So maybe we can actually add like our Adventure Dog Park subtitle here too. And then grab one of these X's. We're going for like a nice kind of branded badge. It's not too crazy, just something that would look neat on a shirt or a retro hotel key or motel key. And that's another thing is like for the national park, I thought it'd be cool if like for those retro motel keys, you get like the branded like kind of logo on one side and on the back would be a number. And so when you check your dog in, you get one of those keychains. So you kind of know what kennel or what little area they're staying in. It's kind of a cool thing. And then let's see here. I think I want to add like a sorry, Cody's playing with a toy. I'm gonna add like some kind of bottom element that kind of describes the location that we're at. So maybe Maybe each location has their own t-shirt. This one would be Big Sur. So there might be a different element for a different location instead of this bridge. But I can grab this, bring it down, and I believe I can just flip this. If you grab this little handle, whoops. I'm gonna bring the size down a little bit. I always forget which one it is. There's like that one. So these little like kind of handles here allow you to kind of move the kind of shape around, or the type on a path around. And one of them also allows you kind of like invert it so that's within the same kind of dip. And then we're gonna write here, Big Sur. I'm gonna do like a little slash, California. Let's bring this size down a little bit. Taylor S says, dude, story of my life. I always forget which handle to pull there. Not very intuitive. Yeah, I'm sure Adobe's heard feedback on this little element here. Maybe they need to make it like I don't know what would be like a good icon instead of like this little line. But it works. It works. We're just kind of making a little nice bottom piece here. Did I spell California right? California. Yep. That would be pretty embarrassing if I didn't do that correctly, since I'm a Californian, native California. And this is where I kind of just, I'm playing around with like the sizing and the kerning just to see. So again, if you select your text and you hold Alt and then your arrow keys, you can kind of space them out a little bit more. I personally like when it's kerned out a little bit. See, that's the thing about us designers. We all have like a lot of things in common that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like little things that are just like little nuanced things that we deal with in our design softwares. And it's funny to hear you guys like talk about it because we kind of share that, you know? All right, so that's cool looking. Now I kind of want to add like, how do I put this? Sort of like a background that this can live in and that this can live in. So it's more of like on like a, I don't even know what the right word would be, but like I'm gonna make a stroke thick and then put it on top so it's kind of like knocked out, if that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean. Let's just bring this over here so we don't mess up our beautiful little mark so far. Let's duplicate. Because sometimes you'll experiment and then you'll break your design by accident. All right, so I'm gonna make a ellipse starting from the same center point because I want it to be right on top of this. Excuse me. Get rid of our fill. Let's give it a stroke of a black color. And I'm gonna crank this sucker up a little bit, maybe like 30. Nope, we need to go like 60. 50. 50 will work. Okay, now I want to delete the bottom piece. And see how the text is kind of peeking from outside of it? I want this to contain all of it. So what I might need to do is add a little bit more right here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And let's go ahead and send this to back, arrange, send to back. Let's select our text. I can tell it's my text because it has all these kind of anchor points. Let's make it white. It's a little crammed in there. We're gonna have to kind of size this down a little bit to fit. Give it a little bit of breathing room within this element. I don't even know what you call this. It looks kind of like a tire or something. then just kind of playing around with it to see how it's going to fit in there nicely. Might even need to adjust the actual stroke itself, so let's see. Let's lock this so we don't select it by accident. See, that's already fitting better. And then I think we want this this bridge to kind of match up, right? Oh, you know what though? I want to add some trees because it's not Big Sur without a little bit of trees. So let's go ahead and shrink this down. Let's group our bridge. I feel like I never grouped it. All right, cool. So let's add some trees. I'm gonna grab my rectangle tool. Again, I'm gonna grab my eyedropper and just select the same stroke. We're gonna make a tree, so we're gonna rotate this. I'm just gonna delete the bottom point. And then let's Alt drag. And then Command D will duplicate it a few times. I think like 4 little guys looks good. Grab my pen tool, just start up here, go straight down. That's a simple tree. Nice little basic, little pine tree kind of guy. Let's group it. And I'm thinking it can kind of fit right here, almost like the same width as that rounded element that we made. So that means our bridge is gonna have to shrink a bit too. This is where you kind of just have to like play around and like lay out different things and have multiple iterations of this badge so that you kind of see what works and what doesn't. Maybe I like that this bridge lines up to the top of the tree. You know, so like if it like ran into it, it'd almost kind of perfectly align. Fabiola says, sometimes I try to use the arrange tool and it doesn't work. I don't know why. Do you know what it should be? Do you know what it could be? Should be? There's a lot of things. Maybe your item might not be grouped. So like if I try to arrange this with this, but like these elements weren't grouped, it would put everything to the center. So you got to make sure your elements are all grouped nicely. Also, these are both, this is a center aligned object and this is pretty much symmetrical. So it should align properly if I do this. Oh, you're saying arrange as in layer stacks, aren't you? You're not talking about alignment. It could be that it's on the wrong layer. If you have an item that's on the wrong layer, or if something's locked, it's not going to work that well. So okay. So then let's duplicate this tree over. These are kind of thick. I'm gonna bring them down a little bit. That's like the one thing I will always struggle with. It's like, what's the right line weight? You know. And then let's make some water underneath the bridge. Water under the bridge. Just because it tells that whole story of Big Sur. You got your trees, you got your bridge, you got your water. We want the whole picture here. And we have a space underneath that kind of needs something anyways. So for this, I'm gonna go to my object, or sorry, I'm gonna go to effect and go to distort and transform, zigzag. We're gonna go to smooth and bring the size down a little bit. And maybe there's 5 segments, so it's kind of like more or less symmetrical. I know I'm doing this. Small trees, big bridge. Yeah, I think I don't think it needs to be to scale. Like, since this is a badge, like this is just a sort of an abstract badge. It's just representing different elements that all live within the same theme of Big Sur. So in this case, I don't think you have to follow rules of like perspective in this sense, because it's more of like a silhouette of the idea of Big Sur. But maybe it could work where they're smaller. And then I'm gonna Command D this. Maybe like 4 of these. Bring our dog up a little bit. This needs to come down. And I think I also want to make a similar kind of treatment to this at the bottom here. Always Evolve says, okay, for a badge, it makes total sense. I mean, honestly, it's whatever you feel. You know, that's what's cool about being a designer, is that you can do whatever you want. So if you feel like the trees should be smaller or bigger, like, you're entitled to that opinion. I would love to see how it looks. I mean, I don't think it would look bad if these were smaller. Let's try it out. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. But see, there's a little bit of an empty gap here, which is why I'm not 100% sold on it. We'll revisit it when we get to the full badge, though. Let's see here. So it's coming together. Now I want this to almost have the same width as the bridge. I feel like right now it's a little smaller. Visually, it was feeling a little bit smaller. Okay. All right, so for this one, let's make another circle or ellipse, starting from the center point. Oh, you guys aren't seeing my camera, aren't you? Oh, my battery died on my camera. Oh well. Let me see if I can get that up real quick. Technical difficulties. See if it comes back up. There we go. That's why you got spare batteries. Okay, cool. So I want to make that circle. We need to find the center point of this existing circle. There we go. I'm going right over the kind of halfway point of that text. Let's get rid of our fill and let's go to a black stroke. Just bringing this up. Whoa, 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 whoa. My computer's freaking out because I clicked too many times. Let's go with 30. Let's send it to the back. Grab our text, go to white. And then what I'm gonna do is just like add some segments here, or some additional anchor points to kind of where I want to cut this off. And to be like exact on this, I should probably make a line to create like a guide here. Let's go like a 1 point. Okay, now I'll just delete all the rest of these anchor points. It'll kind of cut it right there. Perry Bishop says, National Bark is such a simple and effective name. I know, right? I wish I came up with it. My friends John and Allie came up with it. Maybe they'll be rich one day because of it. And they can hire me as their creative director. Loving the live stream so far. Thanks, Cody. That's by Sounds by Jordan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying it. Perry Bishop says, anyone in lockdown south of England is currently in lockdown. Yeah, we're in lockdown currently. That's why I'm streaming, guys. Maybe this is a good thing to get me into streaming more, you know? As long as you guys keep watching them, I'll keep making them, so. All right, so that kind of fits in there nicely. Let's group this. And then maybe we can bring this X down here. It's pretty sweet. You could probably put more text down here. But I kind of like the simplicity of just keeping the bottom. Maybe we could add a little bit more of these, if anything. That's too much. It just kind of gives it a nice little balance, so it's not like too busy of a design. San Francisco, California is on lockdown as well. Yeah. We gotta do what we have to do to stay safe, though, I guess, you know? It's a bummer, but luckily we have the internet, so we can kind of still hang out in a sense, right? All right, so that's kind of like our bigger, like, excuse me, these LaCroix give me a little bit of burps. We want to put this on the back of a shirt. Let's see how it looks like when it's actually applied to some sort of mock-up. So I'm going to go on Adobe stock actually and see what we can find here. This is cool, but I don't see the back of the shirt. Is there? I wonder if there's like a front and back. Here we go. We're gonna go with a men's style one first because honestly, I would want to try it on to see if it fits. Cool. So I'll download this. I need to log in. There's lots of good, lots of great photography and vector files on Adobe stock. Just give me a second while I download this. Anybody that just hopped into the live stream, where are you guys tuning in from? Dog bone to replace the X. We could try a dog bone. Alright, so let's drag this in. Ideally, you'd want to do this like more in like Photoshop, so you can get all the, you know, you get more detailed with the form of the graphic, kind of wrapping a little bit more and stuff. But we're just kind of doing this for quick placement. So let's select this graphic. Oh yeah, let's make the dog bone real quick. That was Solo Tech said. Let's try to make a dog bone. Whoa. Let's get rid of our stroke for this. Go with fill only. That kind of looks like a little dog bone, I guess. That's my little silly dog bone. I'm sure it could look a lot better, but we'll go with that. Another good thing to do is like when you're trying to make an icon like that is to actually go on like some inspiration sites and kind of see, kind of source some ideas from other ones and kind of create your own version of it. You know what I mean? Anyways, so we will apply this. Let's duplicate this and just like outline everything real quick. Object, expand appearance. Sometimes I do it like twice to make sure that it all gets correctly. Oh, is our text locked? Oh, it is, isn't it? Object, unlock all. Just bring this over here. Object, expand. Okay. And then let's actually divide these. So I'm doing that kind of a cookie cutter effect where I'm subtracting the national bark text from this object. And then I'm just going to delete. I'm going to go select same fill color and delete this white. And we need to do the same thing for this bottom piece. Did I divide these already? I didn't. Select same fill color. There we go. And I know it's not perfect. Now that I'm zooming in, I could have made this a little bit better. See how there's more of a space up here and a smaller space at the bottom. So that's what zooming in does for you. You kind of see how you messed up. So ideally, you'd go back and correct that in your live version, which we have up here. Let's label that so we don't get confused later too. This is why we keep the original. Diego says, "Hey Cody, I've followed you since your early UX design tutorials. I was wondering what do you call a pack of logo variations? I know there's a term for it and I can't seem to remember." I mean, I would say logo variations. That's what I would say. There probably is a cooler term. You know what there is? If I'm trying to think back to like design school, maybe somebody in the chat knows. Perry Bishop says, "Our Christmas is canceled in the UK. LOL. No mixing of households on Christmas Day. It's crazy." Yeah, that's a bummer. But you don't want to spread this thing, right? It would suck to like infect family and friends and all that. So I guess I get it in one sense, but at the same time, like it's a bummer for small businesses. JTam says, "I could see that logo on a dog bandana would be sick." Right? Right? I think so too. Okay, so now that we have this all kind of outlined, let's just combine it. Hopefully this works. Unite. Yeah. So now it's all one kind of sexy vector file that we can use to apply to things. So I can change the color of this. Let's actually add these colors to our palette. So you click on the color you want, you click this little icon right here. Let's add this swatch. Let's do the same with this kind of red color. And those are now added to our catalog of colors. Maybe you would say catalog for the logos. Logo catalog? I don't know. Cool. So let's grab this, kind of shrink it down. This is gonna be the back design, right? That's pretty sweet. I'd wear that. I guess it'd be kind of a crime if I didn't wear my own designs every now and then, right? You kind of play around with it. And then let's grab our front design. And see, this was cool. This is what it is. I can't even speak right now. This is what's cool. I can grab this. Oh, we outlined this one, didn't we? Sweet. No, we didn't. Object, expand, object fill. Cool. Let's bring this down. What happened there? We've got a glitch. My computer has like 5 softwares open right now and it's like freaking out. Arrange, bring to front. There we go. We lost our little X. Let's just duplicate this one. I think it's because I have a huge image in here and I'm also running streaming software. But see, like, you can kind of see how this could lay out on a shirt pretty quickly. You could do this with like tote bags, bandanas, like JTam said. So you can even add different color shirts in here to see how that would maybe look on a different color. But maybe I'm like, you know what? I don't really like this this mark on the front. I'd rather go with something else. Let's delete that. Maybe we want to go with this one. Because we created that extra option, we can paste this little pupper right in. You know what I mean? The possibilities are truly endless. Ooh, maybe we could even see, like, this is another thing you can do. So showing how it applies to like merch and objects is one thing, but also showing how it could like live on an image. This isn't the image I want to use though. Let's find a better Big Sur image. Let's go to Adobe Stock again. Actually, let's do like let's find one with like a dog in it. Dog forest. We can just pretend it's Big Sur. See, look at these sweet images. This makes your dog look like a model. That's a pretty sweet image right there. But this looks like it's like Pacific Northwest. Oh my god, look at these two. Gosh, okay. Let's just pick one. Okay, let's try this one because there's like negative space. This could be the Big Sur for all we know. I'm gonna download this one. Diego says at Minku, I think the submarks refer to reduced versions of the primary logo. Correct. So this is a system of branded marks that you could use in different places. So maybe in your social media, you might have a smaller version of the logo like this, or in like headers for print, you know, brochures and things like that. And then when you have areas where you can have a more kind of involved mark, you could do something like this. So you want to have a minimal mark, and you want something that you can build on. You don't have to have it, but I like to, when I do branding work for people, I like to give them a whole package. I want them to have as many pieces that they can be equipped with to express the brand in creative ways, if that makes sense. Look at this little guy, he's having a good time. Diego, if you find out for Richard and I what that term was for the branding, all the logos in one sheet, I'd love to know. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm not recalling right now. Okay, so I just want to test this on top of an image, because when I present logos, I like to show how it would live in different, you know, in different areas. You want to prove that the logo works. See, like this could be like a cool billboard or something on the side of the road, and you're like, National Park, what is that? And maybe it says like, you know, 3 miles ahead. Oops. You know, I don't know. Just playing around. So we know that it works on an image. If we wanted to bring in more of those branded colors in, maybe we grab this. Oops. Bring it to the front a little bit with the Alt and brackets. That might take forever because I have so many shapes on my artboards. Just click bring to front. Let's just drag this down. You know, you can do a bunch of stuff. Right? So yeah, I mean, that's getting there. And then if you want to like present this in a way that's a little bit more like friendly for your client, because right now it's all just kind of a mishmash of things, I would probably make a new artboard. Whoops. Delete everything real quick. And I kind of like to make like a grid of different colors and then plop my main marks in those. So let's see. I think we'll do like our red color up here. Maybe our image can go down here at the bottom left. We want our green in there. Remember, because we saved the color up here, we have it accessible at the top, right? And then let's, I think like a nice like beige color will look nice too, instead of just a stark white. Let's actually mask this image into a square so it doesn't bleed off like that. So I think Command 7, yeah, that'll do that. You can always size this up within our mask. Mohammed says, I like it. Thank you. Glad you like. And then let's add like another one up here and like, oopsie. Let's make it like more of a beige color, so it's not as harsh. So let's find a nice value. Somewhere in the yellow neighborhood. Maybe a little bit lighter. We want it to kind of be like a little bit of an off-white, but not full white. And then let's actually just kind of drag in our assets here. So we've got this one. We'll put this one on top of the green, foresty green. And we can actually test if this works with the other colors. So let's grab our little X's. Make those red. Not bad. You could go even a little bit darker on this so that that red kind of pops off. You don't want the colors to vibrate with each other. So I might go a little bit deeper green. That's pretty sweet. And instead of the white, we'll grab this new beige. Oops. We only want these elements. See, that's making it feel a little bit more premium, not having that stark white. And the camera battery died, so let's plug in the next one. This is part of the live streaming that I have to figure out, guys. I need to get like a dummy battery that will stay alive for more than an hour and a half or whatever it is. Thanks for being patient with me here. Hopefully that'll come back on. If not, I'll have to use my webcam. But I'll keep going. I'll keep moving forward here. All right, so let's add in our bigger mark. We'll just copy this, Command C. And then Command V it. And then let's apply the same kind of like dark green color to everything. Maybe the bridge in the water is red though. This could be like how we how this badge translates to like full color. Not full color, but 3 colors. Let me see if I can just get my my other camera up real quick. Hang tight. Hang tight. Technical difficulties on the camera, guys. Well, we're just gonna have to go with what we have. All right, cool. So we're getting towards the end of the stream anyways. So let's make all these foresty green. This was partly another test stream because I got the new camera, so I kind of had a feeling the battery was gonna die. We saved it once, we couldn't save it twice. I think I want this to be red. I probably should have made it all foresty green before I just like picked individual elements, but we'll get it to work. See, that's looking cool as like a 2-color version of the badge. So they can kind of see, your client can kind of see like, all right, we got this like smaller badge. It works in 2 colors on a darker color. We have the full badge over a lighter color. And then maybe, what else? What else could we do here? Maybe this one. Command C. Command V. And maybe now that it's on red, we can make this. Well, we'll make it all the same beige color, actually. Know what I mean? Let's group it. Move our doggo up a little bit. Let's just bring another version like this, where it's all one color. Oh, we should probably add our beige color to our catalog. And so this is a little bit more of a approachable way and just more, I don't know, just attractive way to present your work. You know, it shows to your client. You could put this in a deck. This could be one page of it. maybe you add a few more pages with the t-shirts. You could have the logo by itself on one. It just really helps to kind of help display things, and it shows that the system of these logos work together. And yeah, that's just a way that I like to go about it. I'm sure there's tons of other ways you can format your badges and your logos when you're presenting them, but this is the way that I do it because it works for me. And it's, you know, you can make just 4 little quadrants. You could do even 5 or 6, make it more of like a mood board, you know. But this is my preferred way. Let's see if we can go back to my camera. All right, so we got some video feed now. This is my crappy webcam, but I think we're pretty much at the end of the stream. I kind of got through everything I wanted to get through, and you know, the nice camera's not working anymore, so I think I'm gonna call it off, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys did too. I should be doing more of these soon. Feel free to comment and let me know if there's any particular types of content you want to see. And yeah, enjoy your holidays.